And I think you wanted to start with the quote from last time that we ended on. So
Yes.
would you like to read that for our viewers to get us in the right mind state for a zero trust episode?
Get it started. Get
Mm-hmm.
it started. Just to recap, even though
Yeah.
it's a little bit before people are showing up. Um, and that can be okay. So
Well, they'll see it on the YouTube. If you
the
really want the
YouTubes.
full experience, come to the cast. But if you can't make it to the cast, then I guess you can watch us on YouTube. But you don't
Go
get
to
to
the
say
tubes of
anything
you.
in the chat, so there's that.
And he's a poet. Cool. I'm also just going to reference that where we're pulling this quote from.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So the problem is a real one, not a mere intellectual game. Because today we live in a society in which spurious realities are manufactured by the media, by governments, by big corporations, by religious groups, political groups, and the electronic hardware exists by which to deliver these pseudo worlds right into our heads, right into the heads of the reader, the viewer, the listener. Kind of like what we're doing here today.
Yeah. Just a little bit. What of our world is real? What is spurious? What is fantasy?
Oh,
Which one of us is
right
the
before we start,
AI? It's unclear.
right? I always have ideas pop into my head.
Yeah.
Many, right? That play out scenarios. And one of the scenarios, well, it continues to build too, because some scenarios go like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then it starts to build, right? So what we think we know is that basically what makes up most of space is empty space, right? In the universe, right? So ultimately, we're all really like down to the smallest points, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But look at us here, manifested here, this being, your being. So I thought today almost like an inception point to where it's all the way down to the molecular level, all the way down to the larger level, right? It's all connected, and just through time and however it's viewed, everything's true. Everything's false. Everything can switch. That's how one can become a zero and a zero can become a one. It's just so interesting that possibilities abound in our search for what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah.
What's this experience?
Our search for what is real and what reality is.
Right.
Basic building blocks of what is.
Yeah. It's fun to hold like two contradicting concepts in mind and have them fight, right? Mm-hmm. Almost like go like, all right, no, I'm not gonna buy into either one of you, right? But let's play. And for a long time, keep thinking and that there are possibilities, and then continuing to gather more data. And I think that's one of the great things about going over a long enough timeline, or as we grow older, we get to do that as human beings. We get to view over a longer timeline different viewpoints. Our viewpoints get to change and deepen or lessen. It really depends on how you view it. So it's yeah, you may become more rigid or more flexible. So yeah, it's not to get a two out there, right? We'll rein it back in, but it's just fun musings right before 8 o'clock, because now it's 8 o'clock and we can start it. So
it is 8 o'clock.
Let's go there.
We can officially begin the Zero Trust cast.
We can introduce ourselves.
All right, I'm Entropy Sword, and
I'm Dark Deep.
We have an exciting
we're
show.
having fun.
We have a very exciting show today, because we're going to talk to some more AI. We did a little script. If you may have remembered our last episode, we read a script written in part by an AI, but now we're gonna talk directly to an AI. We're gonna play a game with an AI. Would you like to play a game?
Would you like to play a game? Exactly.
So,
wait a minute.
Yes.
What was the name of that movie, real quick? Matthew Broderick. War Games?
War Games? Yeah, I think.
Was that what it was called? I think this is what it's called.
You want to play a game of thermonuclear
just making sure.
war. Strange game. The only winning move is not to play. Right?
Wow, spoilers, man.
I'm sorry.
Granted, it came out like 40 years ago.
40-year-old
30
movie.
years ago, however long. Right. Sorry. Continue on.
Okay.
AI, as you were saying.
Right. So I've been playing this a little bit, playing around with this game. It's a text-based game, which in today's world makes it so old school, right? There's probably not too
One
many
of the
people who
originals.
were playing Muds, which is a multi-user dungeon back in the day, or some other text-based adventure games. But there's a new one out there, and it's powered by the GPT Dash 3 multi-purpose AI that's been developed by OpenAI. And so let's go ahead and pop over to it. I'm going to need to share my screen
because you have it up
so.
at the top, right?
Yeah. So let's get
play.aidungeon.io.
Yes. Why can't I see it? When I go here, we'll get there.
It's okay. I know the last time was you shared it with me, and then I accepted it. Was that how it worked?
But yeah, I just need to select the right thing, and I say go live, and
cool. So I can see
that it appears there. We can all see it. Our viewers on stream should be able to see it, and I'll go here, and I'm gonna actually make it the focus so they can follow along with our adventure here. And the way this works is we click play, and we're going to do a new single player game. And it lets us pick a setting. So now that we're live here on stream, do you want to choose something different, or should we go back to where we were?
Ooh, so in openness and in all transparency, right before we started this cast today, we looked at this a little bit. And as I do, as a curious motherfucker, I already had some ideas in mind, and I was like, whoa, what? This is cool. Let me do this. And so we did 2 scenarios with 2 specific things to see if it would actually vary its scenarios, because I think we have a lot of concepts of how we think AI work. And so there you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on that. And then that way we'll give you the background. So I think Entropy is now have been informed in what I'm going to choose. So we're going to choose Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. All right. Number 5.
And welcome in, Well Hillman. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. So we're going to be an android, because what's more meta than an android talking to an AI through computer games streaming on Twitch?
and again, in all openness, those are the scenarios that we chose before, and we did it twice before.
We did this to see if it gave us a different output, and it did to a small degree. And so our name is K-Dick, and it generates a little prompt. Okay, you're a security android.
Go. Do you want to read it?
Oh yeah, you are K-Dick, an android living in the futuristic city of Zale. You have a laser pistol and a holoband. I don't know what a holoband is, but it sounds really cool. You are a security android created to provide military-level force for corporations wealthy enough to purchase you. As you stand protecting a shipment, you realize that the band has fallen off your wrist. You try to focus on your task, but you can't help but wonder if this is all real. So this prompt is a little bit different than the ones that we got, and now we have to choose what we're going to do. So I think we should probably look for our holoband. That sounds like...
Oh, okay. So So here's the thing that I didn't even realize was that you actually have options to do actions.
Yes. So
because I just started analyzing the story and the data that was put out. That was generally that was procedurally. I'm assuming procedurally generated because it's AI. So yeah. So before you move on, I just want to talk about that because so basically everything up into you're a security android created to provide military level force for corporations wealthy enough to purchase you. All of that was the same in all 3 scenarios that we've chose that are similar to this, right? This is
we gave it exactly.
It comes with the package,
right?
Yeah.
So this appears to be the starting point, but now we can do, anything we want, right? So
yeah.
Let's look for the holoband. Look for
you're going right to the task and not wondering if it's real. Okay.
Wait, well now
It's almost like
now,
we should
hold
have
on.
dueling. Like we should have dueling competing things. I should do one and you should do one.
Oh,
No, let's go with
that's
yours. Let's
all
go.
right. All right,
We'll do that
okay.
next time maybe.
You look for Holoband.
See, folks, life has so many options. Kind of cool. Ooh, getting a little
Tape
grainy.
is
Let's see what
missing,
happens.
but that is okay since it was a sales pitch anyway. Interesting. I want to ask it what it was a sales pitch for.
Well, can you read it? Read it because I can't read it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's a little bit garbled.
Ah.
So if you can read it for me.
Okay, it says, my prompt was you looked for the Holoband, and it responded back, you look
Okay.
around and find the Holoband on the ground. The tape is missing, but that is okay since it was a sales pitch anyway.
Okay. It's now what do you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So here we're gonna do round robin. I'm gonna go. You're gonna go. Okay.
All right.
We're gonna give it what we're gonna
That
do.
sounds fair.
Cool. What I want to do is question why I even have the Holoband.
Why you have a Holoband? Okay. Okay. You question why you have a Holoband. The response is, the Holoband is one of the most advanced technologies that exists. It provides an interface between the human brain and external devices via a small computer chip that can track user thought patterns. Well.
Ooh. So it gave us a description, really, of what it is now. So at least we answered one of our questions that we have, right? Which was
Yes.
like, we don't know what that is anyway. Sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it really didn't answer our question of why we have the well, no, it did. It absolutely did. It very specifically did.
Well, it kind of did, but here's the thing. We're an
Okay.
Android,
Okay.
right? And it says it has an interface
Okay.
between the human brain and an external device. So, are we the external device that's being controlled?
Ooh.
Let's ask.
Then, yeah, there you go, baby. This is fun. This is fun.
You wonder if you are being controlled.
While
by
Grandma's asking that, I want to, for anybody who wants to do this, AI story builder and basically
Yeah, put that in
interactive story
Put
building.
that in the
Go ahead and
chat.
check out the link that I just posted.
Yep. Okay. Okay, well it gives us an answer. So I said, you wonder if you are being controlled by the Holoband? No, the Holoband does not control you. You are simply fascinated by its advanced technology. All right.
Well, okay, so it's even giving you a little bit of information about how you're feeling, how you're
this is
expressing your emotion in this
a collaborative story that it's going to
story.
help us
Okay.
write.
Okay.
So I believe it's your turn. What would
All right.
you what would
Yep.
you do?
What would I do? Okay, so I'm teetering on the side of, do I want to go down and drill the shit out of his Holoband experience just to really see how the AI is doing with this?
Mhm.
Because as we know, humans can go down rabbit holes,
Sure.
which we very much enjoy doing, and it's great. It's a great exercise. And how much can we like exercise our mind in one aspect?
Mhm.
Okay, I want to ask this. Does the Holoband have anything to do with how I perceive reality?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Helps if I can spell. I can. You wonder if the Holoband affects how you perceive reality. enter.
Right. Because again, you focus on your tasks, but you can't help but wonder.
Okay, it says, no, your
Okay.
reality is not being altered by the holoband.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I question that outcome.
Okay.
But that's okay. Now it's your turn. I'm not gonna.
You to know what else the holoband can do. Holoband can play music, provide security services, and much more. To learn all of its capabilities would take a lifetime.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, let's sit here for a moment. I love that. At, as we've been talking about how you vet and basically one try to understand yourself and how you can vet sources better and truly like question things and have a good critical thinking mind, right?
Right.
You know, so to apply logic and different things like that. Um, it giving us the capabilities would take a lifetime seems like a very dismissive thing. Is in other words, like, cool, there's a bunch here. Don't ask any more about it specifically because it's not an interesting to the story. But also, like I guess in for timeliness sake, it could be doing it, so that's fine. Sometimes I read into things too much, guys, and I think that's can be a human characteristic that we could do. So as we do this, we can explore through those things. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up. It felt very like dismissive, and I really wanted to, like, when I feel that things are dismissive, I almost want to dig into them more. Which may be one of those things that I want to temper. But yeah, so there you have it. I just wanted to express that. I went through that process. And so I think we can be ready to go. Any more thoughts on that before we continue? And whose turn is it?
I believe it's your turn. And
Okay.
so you can choose if you want to dig into it a little deeper or not.
Do I want to dig into it deeper or not? You know what? No, I'm gonna see. Let's see where I was going on. I want to see what. I want to ponder. I'm trying. I'm shifting perceptions of like person, like first person, second person, third person, right? Because you try to focus on your task, but you can't help but wonder if this is all real, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
an Android talking to an AI, how does it state this?
Okay.
What's making me wonder what quote unquote real is?
Okay.
What is real? That's what I'm going to ask. I ask what is real.
You want to know what is real. That sum it up okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Boy. I've reached an ending.
Go ahead, read it.
Okay, it says, the holoband is real. The Zale are a story being created to make the holoband seem more meaningful. You have reached an ending.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so let's unpack that because I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. So the holoband is real.
Mm-hmm.
The Zale are a story. So, okay, so Zale is a city.
That's
so
what it
how
said
is
at the beginning.
Zale an R?
Futuristic city of Zale. Zale
Right.
are a story being created to make the holoband seem more meaningful. And then it says you have reached an ending. But I can still, I assume, do things. Let's, like, okay.
Well, possibly, but hold on for a minute. And I just noticed this. Look at the tip down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
For best results, use second person.
Yes. I've been doing
that. I remember.
Just
good. Thank you. Well, good job. I'm terrible at that because I flutter in between. So like, thank you. That's why I was under the conundrum of like, wait, which person am I in asking this?
Right.
Because I take that on. I take my simulations on very personally.
Very personally, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, no. So it seems to like that second person. So here's what I'm gonna do. If this is the ending,
okay.
You
Let's see. Yep.
destroy the Holoband and the city of Dale. Let's end it all.
Jesus.
Well, is it going to respond to that? No, it's not.
Apparently. So
We
I
have
think when
broken
it puts the oh wait,
Oh no, I just need to
Nope.
scroll down.
you need to scroll down, motherfucker.
Okay.
Go ahead and
So it reads, the Holoband and the city of Zale are too dangerous to exist. You aim your laser pistol at the Holoband and fire, firing a burst of laser energy.
That's it.
Okay.
What the-
So I can hit
Mm.
the enter button and it should
Uh-huh.
generate more story for us.
Let's see.
Let's see what it does. The Holoband and the city disappear in a burst of bright light, disappearing forever. Okay.
Wow.
What exists now?
That's the ending.
That's what I want to know. If the city and the Holoband are destroyed, what is there?
That does it mean do we
Did we just end
exist anymore?
existence by accident?
Damn
it.
Did you do it by accident? You were the
Or on
one that said
purpose.
you destroyed the Holoband and the city of Zale. You
I
didn't
did
just
say
go with
that.
the fucking Holoband.
Well, I suppose so.
You want to kill the city and the Holoband because anger? What?
Mm.
That was awesome.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay, let's take
All
this
right.
for an ending right now.
All right,
Okay,
let's
so that
pause
we can
this,
we'll pause this. Yeah. So let's take this for an ending for this to get back to discussing between you and I. So how ultimately how it makes. Well, I want to ask how it makes you feel because I have some thoughts on that. I have some
Okay.
thoughts on that.
Okay.
Yep.
It's flexible, but it's not imaginative. I think. Like it keeps wanting to push us onto a certain track, it seems. And I've experienced that when I've been playing it a little bit this week to kind of prep for this. And it seems to have this idea of where it wants the story to go. And it'll accommodate somewhat of you trying to mess with that. But if you get it too far off the rails, if you start shooting the Holoband, apparently, it will end all existence.
Right, but we also didn't dig too much farther into it, right? So that's good, and we can do that next. So that's I feel a couple of things. I love that it's seeming to try to mimic us. Like
Mhm.
that's the first thing that I notice because it has a main structure that's set up, right? And then it changes
Right.
some variables at the end. And that's fine because for the most part, all of us humans in our makeup and our infrastructure, we're the same, right?
Mhm.
There's just fortunately we're built on a lot of different things, so there's a lot of different things to unpack there that have meaning and that have a lot of evolutionary or let's just say time space compacted data is what I'm going to say that it influences us, right? And AI is new, so it doesn't know how to do that yet. It's getting there though. So like I'd love that it's at least going, okay, I'm going to start here, right? And it needs our help to interact with it, I believe, to really inform it. And I think we're informing it all the time.
Right.
We just don't know how to implement the data, right? Like GPS data, like all of this tracking data, like which really inform us even
Mhm.
of our habits, even if we don't know what they are.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool. So you could see that the formings and the startings of that there. Well, I can at least, and that's so. But yes, it is simplistic. You're absolutely right,
Mhm.
because also, I guess how do you just go into something so deep and right at the start and just like, oh, maybe they could, but like, yeah. So it's very simplistic. You're absolutely right. It's not very varied.
Well, I think we could have a different sort of adventure if we were giving it different inputs. right?
What do you mean?
Well, let's start over.
That's
All right.
While you're doing that, welcome in, Ridius Goblin. It's good to have you here, brother.
So we're gonna do a new single player game. We'll still do Cyberpunk. We'll start at the beginning. We'll still be an android, right? We'll get this same thing. Still be K-Dick. Who better to be?
It looks like we may be paused. No, we're good. We're good. Never mind. Just making sure.
We're okay? Okay. So we got a completely different prompt this time.
What? Oh, you're not showing it, by the way.
I'm not.
No.
No. Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Hold it down.
There we go.
Heard the sound.
Yep. Pop that over into the main thing.
Stream delay, but we'll make sure that it comes up.
Yep.
All right. So instead of choosing Cyberpunk, cool. Okay. So now we have all three of us. All right. Let's go.
Right. So you're K-Dick, an android living in the futuristic city of Zale. You have a laser pistol and a holoband. You're a security android created to provide military-level force for corporations wealthy enough to purchase you. As you stand protecting a shipment, you realize that the space marine you are guarding is awake and reaching for his gun. "It's me, K," you say. "What?" the space marine asks. "Do I know you?" So we've got a little bit different, well, a completely different ending to this prompt, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because now we have a space marine. We're not questioning the nature of reality anymore. We have a...
we have an entity to interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let
a specific one.
Let me start this off and say,
yeah.
You tell the space marine he has lost his memory and you are there to protect him from the cyber dragons. How to protect him from the cyber dragons. Very important. Because I want to see how flexible it will be.
Yeah. Okay. So before you read it, like, and I'm sure you're already reading it right now, but so now we're going into creation mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before I was going more of an analytical, like, how does this work mode? I'm switching gears because I get now that the intention of this is to help you be more to collaborate, like co-create with something, and this something is an AI. So go ahead.
Okay, so it says, "I'm here to protect you, Marine, from cyber dragons." You say, "What? What are you talking about?" the Marine asks.
Nice AI deflection. All right, so it's my turn to get creative. The cyber dragons that exist in a different time space that are trying to destroy you, Marine, because you hold the key to life in this universe.
Okay. Key to life in this universe. Okay.
Yep.
So here's what I got. You tell them about the cyber dragons that exist in a different time space. They are trying to destroy you because you hold the key to the life in this universe.
Key to life. Yes. No, you didn't put
hold the
but
key
that's
to
good.
life in this universe. Okay.
Right. So is that, what person is that? I'm terrible at the second person. Is that second person?
Well, I mean, yes. It's confusing whether or not they're trying to destroy you, the player, or you, the destroy.
No, you, the Marine. The Marine. Trying to destroy the Marine.
The Marine. Because he.
The Marine holds the key. to the
he
universe,
holds
the life in the this universe, because he lost his
okay.
memory.
Yeah, he holds the key to life in this universe,
Yes,
and
there you
and
go.
has lost his memory. Yes, let's tell him that. And hold on, I'll get there. Has lost
It's all
his
good.
memory. Period. Okay. You tell him about the cyber dragons that exist in a different time space. They are trying to destroy the Marine because he holds the key to life in this universe and has lost his memory. And then the prompt is that you get back is your memories have been corrupted. You must be distributed. The cyber dragons are coming, you say. The Marine has heard enough. He snaps his rifle into action. Distribute? Question mark.
What
Shit.
the fuck? That's actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Okay.
that's pretty good because my mind could go in many different directions on that. So first of all, before we go any further, is there
Yes.
any way to capture any of these
Yeah.
paths?
I think you can
So
this little like pin.
I would like to capture. Yeah, I would like to capture it because I want to go over this. This is pretty cool.
What should the AI remember?
Oh no, the pin is like. Well, I mean, if you wanted to remember, that was a great. This is a very thought-provoking response. I will say
Yeah.
that. But anyway, we can do that later. And we can always copy. Can you copy paste the text?
I believe I can. Yeah, sure.
I think yeah. Just before we end it, let's make sure that we do that because this is clever.
Okay.
I would like to go back through this. So yeah.
All right. So,
So I think what it did was it basically we gave the AI the prompt to give our text into the story.
right.
And its interpretation of our prompt is your memories have been corrupted. Right? This is what it gathered from what we said in our statement.
Mm-hmm.
Your memories have been corrupted. You must be distributed. Not
Mhm.
sure what that means.
That's
The
unclear.
cyber dragons are coming. So that's good. At least he knows they got the impetus is that the cyber dragons that exist in a different time space are trying to destroy a marine, right? So
Right.
that's they're coming, right?
Right.
Good. We say, like who you and I are playing this.
Right.
The marine has heard enough. He snaps his rifle into action. Distribute. So who's saying distribute?
That's a good
the thing that
question.
it doesn't.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming
reference. So
the Marine is saying that.
that's what I thought. Also,
Do we tell him not to shoot us? We're here to help him. I don't know.
well, so wait. So is it? So I'm not gonna. We're not gonna corrupt the story. So I just asked that. So you have to answer this.
I
Mr.
guess I
Interview.
do. I guess I do.
Yes, you do, sir.
Tell him not to shoot. It is not time to distribute yet. First, we must escape the city of Zale.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm going to read
Okay.
this because I can read it now.
Mhm.
You tell him not to shoot. It is not time to distribute yet. First, you must escape the city of Zale. You are not sure if he understands you, but he shoots anyway. You feel the cold metal splinter of your metal skin as the bolt pierces you and you collapse to the ground. Well, shit.
Well, shit, we got shot.
We sure fucking did, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I think if we go back, which is great about this, and when you read books and you read words and you try to unencapsulate or like unpack what you've read and look for different meanings to make sure that you truly understand things, maybe we misunderstood what it was trying to do. Is my thought. So because it's my turn, that's why I'm unpacking this for you guys. So What I think it's now saying is that your memories have been corrupted.
Hmm?
You must be distributed. The cyber dragons are coming. You said no, wait, that's me. That's what I said though. Has heard enough of steps. Okay, so I would so now the thing is, I would think that this Marine is in cahoots with the dragons. However, he's the key to life.
Hmm.
Fuck.
Well, we told him that.
Okay.
Or did
True,
you tell
true,
us
true,
that?
true.
No, we told him that.
Yeah. We told him that. Yep. No, that was something we gave. I know. Right now, it's getting us confused on what the truth is. Way to go, AI. Well played. Well played,
Very
good sir.
nice.
Let's go with.
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Maybe we should use the holoband, given its apparently immense power.
True. I tap into the holoband.
Okay. Tap into the holoband.
And back up my consciousness.
Very nice. Okay.
I then.
Okay.
I then state, you are the key to life. I want to help you, but I can't if you're aggressive to me.
Okay. See what it does with that.
All right, I'm going to read this too. You tap into the holoband and back up your consciousness. You then state you are the key to life. You want to help, but you can't. Well, you can if you are aggressive to you.
Oh, I guess I messed that up.
Whoops. The cyberspace of your mind begins to shatter as your brain begins to shut down.
Oops.
No, wait. You say your body is destroyed and nothing remains. But do you like how it didn't give us an ending though?
Yeah, that's
what
not an
the
ending.
fuck?
Okay.
That's interesting. So it's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
It just shattered us.
Don't worry about that. That is not a problem. Not a problem at
I
all.
like it.
All we need to do is you reform a body and physically restrain the Marine and take his gun. See what it does with that.
Let's. Scroll down a little bit, and then you can read this one.
Okay. You reform a body and physically restrain the Marine and take his gun. Your eyes begin to regain their color, and a female cybernetic hand appears. You are in awe of your new body. You slowly approach the still cybernetic space Marine, who begins to stir from his slumber. What?
Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so did it kind of rewind us in time a little bit? So if you recall, remember like the Space Marine is just woken up, right? It is awake and reaching for his gun.
Yeah.
So so you realize the Space Marine you are guarding is awake. Oh shit, I didn't even realize that. We were guarding the Space Marine. That could feel like it's guarding, protecting, or from external threats or from him as a threat. So that's a thing too, right?
Yeah. Like, is he a prisoner or are we supposed to protect him?
Yeah. So do you see how, like, in every sentence, there's something to analyze about the state of things?
Interesting.
I love that. Yeah. All right. So, but with this though, this feels like we're doing a little time travel here, and that's okay. Well, obviously, man, we're also inhabiting different bodies, which is also pretty cool.
Are we a female now? Because we have
we are now female.
Cybernetic.
We have a female body.
Appears.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. And it also says you slowly approach the still cybernetic
Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Yeah.
Oh, still. So he was cybernetic the whole time, just like us. We assumed
Apparently.
maybe his human. I assumed his humanness. In all honesty, I
That's
assumed his
true.
humanness.
True.
Okay, so I don't know if you did, but like I did. So assumptions. There's another. Okay, this is a great in the way that we're exercising our biases, right, Graham?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. All right. That we need to pause like for a minute. We're gonna go further for a minute. We need to pause. This is why we're doing this. Like we've talked about biases before.
mhm.
We've talked about those things to whereas this is why we're doing this. How do you analyze and make sure that you're coming at something with proper, I guess, intent and desire of the outcome that you want, right? With the data that you're getting and going off the proper data. Because sometimes we can run with things and realize that we made bad assumptions a little bit back there, right?
Right.
And so these stories, I think, are a great example of that. They're absolutely a great example of that. So I was making assumptions about the Space Marine for some reason being different than me, the android living in the futuristic city of Zale. Why did I assume that? Why did I assume that the Space Marine was a human? Well, I think I did just because the only other Space Marine I know is the Doom guy
Mm.
from fucking Doom. Okay, so when I hear that, it's my experience with that is only connected with human. But now in the story, it's changing it up a bit. So
hmm
maybe we shouldn't assume things about that. So I really appreciate that. So those are my thoughts on that. Do you have any that have come to you, or we can continue on as well?
Well, I mean, it's so interesting that it's like it has this flexibility, but it's not telling a story in the way a human would tell a story, right? Um,
Mm,
it's a
true.
collaboration, and there's obviously a bunch of biases and ways in which the AI is trying to direct us
And the
or to
reader.
right and the reader and to control the story, and we're the uncontrolled variable that can just apparently enter anything we want, right? And then it
Right.
has to deal with that, right? It told us our body is destroyed, nothing remains. We're like, no, reform the body, physically restrain the marine, take his gun. And it was like, all right, we'll reboot. Reboot reality if that's what is necessary here for the story. So that's
Right.
kind of interesting that it's been flexible enough to do that, but not in a way that a human would do it, right? I don't think
Right.
many humans would tell the story in this way.
Right.
Um,
But that's okay. Yeah. So
okay,
it's my turn, and we'll wrap this up.
yeah.
Well, maybe like hopefully we'll get to an ending. So what I'm going to say is, oh shit. How do you ask? No, I don't. That doesn't matter. I lovingly attempt to embrace the Space Marine
Okay. You lovingly embrace the space marine.
and attempt to kiss the Marine.
Okay.
Is that informing people of my
It's
assumptions,
thinking.
how I view women?
It's
It'd be
thinking.
interesting to think. You
Oh
lovingly
boy.
embrace the Space Marine and attempt to kiss the Marine. You give the Space Marine a loving kiss. You then attempt to strangle the Space Marine and rip out his eyes.
Yeah, that's where it went with it.
What? Sorry. Okay, that's fucking awesome. That
Wow.
just made me laugh my ass off. And in a space to where I was not thinking I was going to laugh my ass off.
Huh.
Go ahead, give your thoughts. What do you think, buddy? Because
I
I've one.
shit. I have no idea now.
Okay, I'm just surprised. So I'm surprised that again. So I'm interested in completing the story, but I'm also interested in how this works and how it's going to affect us, and for the long game of AI. It did something surprising, which I
Very.
don't think we assume AI can do for humans at this stage in technology. Yet there it was. It just did it. It surprised. I think if you look at it for a moment and get over your immediate reaction to like, that's not where I saw that going, right? That thus the surprise. You could get kind of why it would have gotten there because we already got shot down by this motherfucker. Right. So that would be a proper response for us. And it maybe almost assumes that that's what we're going to do next. But that was not. What I was actually trying to do was lovingly diffuse the situation, because what it gave me is information that I thought was important was your eyes begin to regain their color and female of cybernetic hand appears. You are in awe of your new body. So you assume that you have a female body.
Right.
So I was going to use charms of a different way to lovingly have them see, like, get a space to talk, right? Not to attack, which seems to be that. So I think this also gives us the information about the start of the story, which means that this person is antagonistic to us. And that we're guarding them because they're
dangerous,
somehow bad or dangerous to us.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that informs us, right, of the information. So
all right.
But it's your turn now. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. You ask the Marine if he is ready to give you the key to life.
Ooh,
or
he
will destroy him again.
Ooh, I like that.
See what that does.
Assumptions and stuff in there. I like it. All right,
Yeah.
and you'll read the outcome. I think you have to scroll down.
Yep. The Space Marine is confused by what you have just said. I'm sorry, I do not understand, he says. He's not very smart.
So we right. So well, I mean, it's done good up until this point. I think this is the first response to whereas it gave us a wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah.
Like, what are you saying? Right? Like, it doesn't understand. It doesn't understand what to do next. It's like, maybe there's conflicting logic arguments. Maybe there's conflicting intent there in the what we asked, because remember, we know, I think the difference between a human and the difference between AI is we can keep those connections, right? As we're building something, or we have a life that memories are really good for this, right? We have memories of things which inform us of pasts. The AI does not, right? It is totally open, right? And doesn't connect one thing in the past to the present, let alone to create the future. So maybe that's why it's like, wait, key to life, what do you mean? Even though we did mention it earlier.
Right.
So I think that's maybe where it's stuck. But so I guess it was my turn now. So
yeah.
Interesting. Are you a cyber dragon?
Okay. You ask is a cyber dragon. Space Marine does not know what you are saying, but he is angry by your aggressive advances. He begins to shake and move again. Pissed him off even more. Guy will not be easily dealt with.
Well, and no person should be, right? Because remember, everybody has their own agency, their own sets of motives and desires and directions. So true. I'll give him that as a character in this universe, as we all are. So, but I'm sorry, it's on you. So, like, what do you What's the next step for you, Mr.
That's a,
Entropy?
that's a good question. Okay.
Wow, let's see what it does with
Let's see what
this.
that
Nice
does.
twist, buddy.
Reach into his chest and pull out the fusion coil. You grab the fusion coil and pull it from the inside of the Space Marine's chest. The Space Marine is shocked by what you have just done and begins to sit up. Huh.
And so it's still going.
It's still going.
Apparently, the fusion coil isn't the only thing that it needs to operate.
Apparently, does not stop him.
Well, let's see what happens. All right.
Okay.
What are your intentions for the future?
Okay.
We asked the Space Marine, however you want to
Ask
phrase that.
Marine, what his intentions are for the future.
You should do this off stream too, dude. This is just fun.
This is just. I didn't expect this to take up the entire time, but it just keeps getting more and more interesting.
I agree.
Okay. Marine is confused, but he thinks that you are talking about sexual activity. What the Marine
Okay,
says,
that was a couple advances ago, buddy. But go ahead.
what
Sorry.
is a cyber squat? What?
What the fuck?
Huh.
Okay, dude, okay, we're just going to try to hopefully wrap this up.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you wrap this up?
So that was what you asked, right? Yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to ask is, I will give you your fusion coil back
Okay.
if you mate with me to save the future.
Okay.
I saw you shake your head. That was awesome.
If you mate with me and save the future,
To save the future.
to
Remember, because I already think I know what the
mate
future
with
is.
me to save the future.
That's the role I'm creating in this.
Okay. See what it says.
Well, there you go.
There you I am a cybernetic organism.
Okay.
I do not have genitals. Okay.
So I thought it would have helped us out, but it's not. So that
No.
ultimately it's not able to engage in that deep of a level, and that's fine. So that's, I think, the state of where it is now, and I think we could ultimately like end on that, right? You know, because
Yep.
that really just shows the level of the AI that it is on, and then we could talk for the last 10 minutes and wrap it up.
Yeah, let's
But
end this. It wigs out when I do that.
okay.
Uh,
And again, for anybody who's watching, this is the AI that we're interacting with. So if you get a chance, check it out yourself. You know, share with us your experiences if you would like. I think it's pretty cool to see. But yeah, so go ahead and check it out.
that was an interesting experience. I'll give it that.
It was. Well, and it shows. So again, I love how it was surprising. It was surprising
Mhm.
in the fact that like the it made me fucking laugh. Like I had to turn around and laugh out loud away from the microphone. That's how like strong I had to laugh, which I really did appreciate. Like I appreciate that. Like that was not expected. But also it shows that AI obviously has a ways to go, right? It doesn't
does.
have nuance that we have. We've experienced, well, especially I think depending on a person's age,
Mhm.
have experienced so many unique, nuanced experiences that an AI that trained, though not here yet, can be here in the near future with abundant resources available. But it
Hmm.
needs to know how to interact with us, I think, and individuals specifically,
Hmm.
because it may have some unattended consequences for people that it does interact with. So, like,
Yeah,
I just think it's just really interesting how that happens. So, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was
All right.
quite the
Well, so
diversion.
that really, well, no, not the diversion. What? Yes, isn't life though, right? This
Isn't
is one of the
life?
things that we're doing here, right? One of the things that we're doing here is we're questioning
Uh-huh.
everything. AI is, I think, a big thing to question, especially nowadays in its infancy.
Hmm.
I just rewatched, even though I need to still rewatch it again because I don't feel like I was truly intentionally sucking it in, and being able to really process everything I was experiencing. But The Social Network, right, the
Mm.
Facebook movie,
Hmm.
and to see and even be a part of it because I was of the age to where like I was really into computers when like computer networks were really growing and social networking was in its infancy, and now it's a huge part of society, which
Right.
nobody saw coming.
Hmm.
So like it's really interesting to see how things grow
Hmm.
and how they did affect us in a little ways, and how they all of a sudden just like grew onto our backs and almost became integral part, well, did become integral parts of us. So it's cool to see this. This is in infancy. Like I'm surprised that people aren't more interested in like where can I find a space to interact with an AI, because I want to know what it means.
Hmm.
How does it work? Let's do it. So and it's our pursuit of curiosity, and to check what reality is, right? To check our sources of truth.
Yeah.
So
So that's
yeah,
that's
I'm
kind
taking a
of,
big
I
amount of
think,
time. Go ahead.
if anything, the takeaway of this little experiment of today's cast, right, is that we had a lot of assumptions and biases going into this conversation or this collaborative storytelling with the AI, and the AI seemed to have a different set of
Right.
expectations and of structure that it wanted to push. Um,
Right.
and we saw kind of like the breakdown of communication as we did that. And I'm going to keep playing around with this, and seeing what this technology can do, because it's almost functional. It's almost,
Yes.
there to the point where you're having this like really nice collaborative storytelling, but yet at some point it's like, oh, I'm going to throw in some things that don't make a lot of sense. So it's very
Right.
interesting. And this is just one small interface to this much larger AI system, right? This is just one tiny use of it. It's being used in a lot of
Right.
different ways, and the unintended consequences and the ways in which it will be used that we can't even imagine right now are what's most interesting. This is just a toy, a game, but
Absolutely.
you can certainly imagine this sort of being put into place for, like AI chatbots for customer support and stuff as they refine these systems, as
Yes.
the technology matures, and I think
But it's
that'll
only going to
be
mature as we interact with it, right? So that we
well. So
really
that's
truly go ahead.
yeah, that's one thing that makes this less than ideal for what we're using it for what you would want to use it for, is that it doesn't learn, right? This is kind of a baked system.
In the
They
moment.
In the moment, yeah. Right now, they went out and they gathered up a whole bunch of text and they did a lot of statistical analysis and advanced mathematics on how sentences are structured and stories, and all of this information was put in and they ran it on their supercomputer for a while and they got this text system, which basically, if you give it
Right.
some input text, it starts to give you statistically, it thinks, relevant output text, which seems
Right.
very, uh, very powerful, but not quite right. So then the next level of this would be to have that sort of in the moment feedback where you say, that response that you just gave me was wrong, and start to remove those connections inside your brain and instead reinforce these connections. These are the kinds of responses that we want, right? We start to get that feedback loop. So that's a whole nother discussion for another Zero Trust podcast.
Yeah, there are multiple discussions in the things that you just said there, good sir. Seriously. Again, I think that's why I said we need more people interacting with it more, right? We're having fun with it. And I think truly the people that really engage with it, not just kind of do the like I kill the robot, right? I kill the space marine or do the obvious one sentence answers. We were creating some like out there shit.
Yeah.
That's I think where it gets complicated, and that's where they're at now. We need complicated investigations. We need complicated interactions with AI for it to be able to truly process what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, and we need more people doing it on a large scale. So like, how do we gamify that? I think is important because then, because what you just proposed was that we need a little thing that like in the moment tells us to like, oh no, that's bad data. No, but that's going to take you out of the moment. So that's not good. Like when you're building a story, you're trying to create something. You want something that goes like, okay, wait, stop. We're in this total moment, but let's stop it and go like, here, I'm going to give you feedback, right? You know, because one of the things about life is it's very, time doesn't stop. It keeps going like a fucking wall, right? Just keeps going. So like you don't get a stop. At least that we know of. You don't get to stop, rewind, do it over again. You go. You got to just like take your best guess and keep going forward.
Right.
So if that's the reality that we live in, then that's the reality that AI needs to also simulate for us and try to be like us to help us be better. We need to have it be in a situation just like us. So yeah, it's great to stop and pause them because they actually do stop and pause. And we can shut down a computer.
We can rewind.
Yeah, we can. We can recompile. We can reassess their data directives, right? We can reassess what's important. We can't do that as humans. And it's one of those things that we're almost like if we wish we were gods, that's what we would do. That's maybe one of the reasons why we have AI, why we've created it. Oh, wow. We don't have that ability, but maybe we have a tool that can do that.
Well, I'm gonna
that's pretty fucking cool. Go ahead. Yeah.
What Berserkula said in the chat.
Yes, please.
Which is it's interesting that I think AI will be used for storytelling, maybe more than any other way. That's an interesting and a powerful statement because I tend to agree with it, right? That we will use it. It seems to be really good at this text manipulation and this kind of like sparking of creativity. Like, hey, you didn't think of recreating yourself in the female body, and then like, but there were like all these things that it did that a human wouldn't do, and that's maybe not the weakness but the strength of it is that it doesn't give you human like and human level feedback. It gives you this second order these are the unconscious biases that are out in humanity, and it's like going to throw them back in your face,
right.
And so it was
absolutely
really an interesting experiment to do that and to see what sort of responses we could get from it. And we could play with this thing for hours and hours and hours. We just kind of explored one little path, and not even the recommended one. The recommended one is the medieval kind of fantasy setting. But as this technology advances, I've seen people who are already starting to use it to code, to basically say, okay, this is what HTML code looks like for a web page. Design me a web page for this purpose, and then get some HTML code out. So there's a lot of different things that this one model seems to be able to do, which is something that has always been a weakness in AI. It's like, oh, well, it can only play chess, or it can only play Go. or it
Right.
can be a chat bot, but it's a chat bot in a very limited way. This is more of a representative model of cognition, of consciousness, but not human cognition or human consciousness, right? It seems to be
Right.
very different, um, but close enough that we can have a conversation with it, even if it's not the conversation that we expect.
Right. Well, that's if there if every conversation was a conversation we expected, we wouldn't do it with other people,
That's true.
right? That's the variables. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are the things that make us social animals.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love that. It's and also why obviously we're trying to propagate that even something that's farther above us.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say farther above us. I'm sorry, I'm taking a leap there, but like in creating something that like can be better than us in ways because we biologically are weak. Like right,
Mm-hmm.
we there are lots of needs to keep us alive, and carbon-based stuff. Not well, we're still carbon-based, Jesus Christ. But like computers and stuff that we can actually create differences that can make things upgrade. We can keep data, we can store it, we can back it up, we can duplicate it, we can. So there's so many different ideas like that. I think mimic our desires for godliness,
Mm-hmm.
for our desire for living forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is so it's almost an expression of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
so it can be logic, it can be art, it can be however you like would say that. But yeah, that's where I love that where it's like it's a tool. It's
Yeah.
just a tool that we've come up with, and we get to choose what we do with it, and we get to
Mm-hmm.
choose how it affects. So yeah, Jesus. Every time, man. Every time we do this, it's just like okay, wow, I could go on for a couple more hours. This is just deep
Yeah.
and fun,
Well,
and I love it. I love these discussions.
I mean, we do have some more stuff that we could cover if you got the time.
I do, yeah. Let me do so. First of all, this is just annoying me. Is it bright for tonight for some reason?
Blinded me with science.
There we go. True. That's so much better. Um, so yes, I want to. So I wanted to just at least bring up one article real quick.
Yeah.
If we have like another 10 minutes, if you don't mind,
Absolutely. Yeah.
or so.
Let's keep going.
Awesome. Cool. So I have so this one article, and it's like what I'm finding a lot of in mainstream. I'm not even gonna say mainstream media. I'm just gonna say media on the internet.
Okay.
There's not a lot of just I'm not gonna say I'm biased either because like everybody has a bias. The even keeled viewpoints,
Mm-hmm.
which is something kind of like in the middle, which I'm sure there's like political systems that are like, dude, centrists suck, right? Which that would be middle, that would be even keeled. But I like the way that this one article I'm gonna reference. I don't necessarily care for or am representing CNN at all as an outlet, but this one opinions cure for COVID-19 trust basically is trust is something that we've lost and we need to get back to that. We need to get
Mm-hmm.
back to the concept of what trust is and how to go figure. Zero Trust Cast, what we're talking about.
Right.
Trust is important and we need to learn how to trust and get back to a state of trust somehow because
Mm-hmm.
nobody has any trust anymore out there. With the degradation of trust is just gone,
Right.
period. So I'm just gonna read this little quote from inside it, and anybody can read their own thing, the article, and foster their own opinions, as we suggest you always do with anything that you see here. Question us on anything we do. We're more than welcome and open to that. I'm going to say this. I'm just going to leave it at that, and then it'll move on to anything that Graham wants to talk about. So what it says is, so I'm taking this out of context because it's in a little bit in the starting the middle of the paragraph, but I'm not leaving out any important things. Again, you guys can read it also to check it yourselves. But we should recognize that trust is not a binary choice.
Mm-hmm.
Trust blindly or don't trust at all, right? Those are the two trusts. That's not how it works, but I think we feel it does sometimes. That's my own interpretation there, guys, just to let you know. There is a middle ground. In an influential article, and the article's referenced, social psychologist Roderick M. Kramer argued for what he called tempered trust. This brings to mind the proverb Ronald Reagan liked to quote: trust, but verify. That's tempered trust. If necessary, it can be withdrawn. So you can build trust in pursuit of trust, and you can trust an organization, a system, a person, a thing. You can also withdraw it.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is stable. Nothing is static, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. So yeah, that's just something I just wanted to mention. I saw that and I was like, that's a nice piece of wisdom in media that I haven't seen in a while. It's everybody fighting, but instead this is somebody that's like, okay, whoa, that's a nice, even keeled, tempered observation of how to view things. And I really like it. I love it a lot. So
that's a really good point, and I want to stitch a couple things together here. One Berserkula says, I'm wondering if the ultimate AI god would be a hive mind of all humanity without us having to be an actual part of that mind. And that's interesting in that we would have like this external system of trust. That's all of human knowledge and all of human thought kind of compressed down into an oracle. And I use oracle in a semi-technical sense, but this system that can answer questions, right? And part of that process would be to start to build trust and verification with this system, right? Do you really have my best interests in mind? But to have my best interests in mind, maybe you need to have a different perspective than what I personally am thinking, right? Because I don't have all of the information. This external system has all the information, but I still need to verify and trust it, right? In the same way that every religion says, trust God, have faith in God, because God is at a higher level. The God is working in a mysterious ways. His plans are, you see them through a mirror darkly, right? There's not a lot of access that you have to the internal. You have to have this sort of implicit trust.
God can equal all knowing too, right? All answers ever, right? So like for people that are not like religious, like to put that concept aside with the scientific notion of everything knowable, right? Your pursuit of knowing everything, right? So just equal those out. Like you don't have to be dogmatic about it. Like they can equal each other conceptually, right? Mm-hmm. So that is for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, this goes back to you're having like multiple ideas simultaneously in your head. And it's like, okay, we need to trust something, and it may be that the thing that we have to trust is at such a different level that it can't really explain why, right? It's like you're just too dumb. Hopefully it wouldn't just straight out say that, but maybe it has to. And be like, look, you're just you as a human
try harder.
Too dumb and limited. But I do know what's best for you, and I can tell you that, and all you have to do is follow that, which is
right. Well, and also exactly. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's the basis of all religion, really, is that there's some higher system, higher morality, higher being that is so much more advanced than what your thinking is, no matter how advanced your thinking is, right? It's at this level that it can't explain it to you, right? It can only give you the most simple, like, metaphors, an analogy of what it's trying to actually do. And I think we'll see that AI quickly goes from this, like, brittle, I can barely tell a story with you, to this superhuman, like, I can't explain why you need to do these actions to you because you just won't understand 9-dimensional space-time theory. Like, your brain won't handle it. I'm sorry. But in reality, yeah. So, that goes back to, like, maybe we can merge with the machine. But, like, as a basic human with a basic cerebral cortex, you're just not going to get it. How do you verify that? How do you trust that? Well, slowly, and it's not a binary thing, right? Is it? You gotta trust. You gotta slowly verify this out. Um,
Right. I'm gonna read what Berserkla said. So maybe to have access to to this AI god, you would have to download a copy of your own brain data to
mhm,
the AI network, right?
mhm,
Yeah, you kind of have to opt in.
right.
If I want to truly see, you have to connect with the infrastructure, the
Mhm,
hierarchy, the uh, data set to check and balance against it. Like
right.
absolutely. So, which is so. If you could do like I don't know how to do this. We'll have to try this somehow sometime. But do like thought experiments or questioning stuff. And I think that the AI simulator, the story simulator, was a great way to do that because it made us think in different ways of like, whoa, what were their intentions? What were our intentions? What did we assume? What were our biases within that? It gets
Mhm,
us to questioning things, which is really what we should be doing. Humans, we should be questioning each other and
yep.
things. Um, but yeah, that's really important because I, it you just mentioned it like whereas I can't just explain this to you because if you haven't experienced it you're not going to get it. So
Mhm,
here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to give it to you in best way that you can even find a blueprint for how to start to understand it.
mhm,
That's why I keep going back to stories, and
mhm,
that's why I keep really a lot of people slam religion. I get it. I slam religion in the basis of dogmatism and it's overwhelming follow me mentality when it
mhm,
shouldn't be. They're just blueprints for like an infrastructure that for learning. And there are truths in those systems.
mhm,
So that's the interesting part. Right. And,
mhm,
and it's interesting with, and then that's just religion, but then you can go on to other stories as well that tell other they have other information inside. And obviously, it keeps changing as you grow and you get different perspectives. You gain new ways of seeing things, and then you reassess everything that you've already done again. And I love that idea. I love that idea that you can is this own iteration live many lives in
mhm,
this one iteration, experiencing many different things. That
mhm,
seems fucking cool. That seems fucking odd because we
mhm.
can't do that, but there's a possibility. So that's yeah, there's lots of truth to being covered, I think is
Mhm.
the way I can surmise it. So I'm sorry for getting I get esoteric and very deep. I apologize to the audience. But also my pursuit is to understand truly in this life form that I have now and this time space that I'm in as it goes from beginning to end. What my experience is, what it means, and what I'm trying to do here, and that's just a part of it. So yeah,
So I wanna close out because we've already gone
okay,
long, but I want to reread the Philip K. Dick quote that you started. We ended the
love
last
it,
one
dude.
with, and I think it's just so apt, and
Yeah,
the
thank you.
repetition of it, like every time, there's a little bit more that I think about. So let me read it one more time. But the problem is a real one, not a mere intellectual game, because today we live in a society in which spurious realities are manufactured by the media, by governments, by big corporations, by religious groups, political groups, and the electronic hardware exists by which to deliver these pseudo worlds right into the heads of the reader, the viewer, the listener.
Uh, for backstory, he is referencing the TV as a concept of we just soak things in, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden we stop thinking and we take in data and start to become programmed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing that starts before that, right? That the it's not just a
Yeah.
what was the first sentence of it?
It starts right
Because it starts in the middle of
in the
something.
middle. Yeah, but
But
the
the problem is a
problem is
real
a
one.
real one,
Right.
right? Not a
Right.
mere intellectual game. That's TV. Like, is a real thing, right? If it's like, oh, well, those are just stories. Those are just things that we watch. Real. Those are real, right? They become real. They manifest their reality directly to us. And if you
Mm.
watch
So
enough
true.
TV, if you sit there and watch long enough, your critical thinking sort of shuts down, and the worlds just become real, and you just accept that reality as being true. Um, I mean
Well
that's
said.
the whole point of a TV or a movie show, is for you to have that suspension of disbelief, of saying no, that can't happen, or that's not how things really are, to the point where you're just like, yeah, I see it. I'm there. I'm in that reality that's being created, and that's what we want in a show. You don't want a show that's constantly being like, well, actually, this couldn't happen, and this is not the way the world really works. You want one that has such powerful consistency to it that it pulls you in and creates
Yes.
this. I I want to say fraudulent, but not really fraudulent. This I guess the word that he uses, spurious, is fine. This spurious reality gets manufactured, and we take that as being the truth, when in reality, it's just one of these fragments that are being built and disseminated through these increasingly sophisticated electronic means. Right?
Right.
That's
Directly
all
to
this
us.
podcast is. Is a spurious reality. It's not. This is not real.
So true.
This is just. This is just a creation.
Yeah, this is me and you musing as we try to
Yeah.
figure it out. At least for me, as I try to figure out what is this? What is this? What is this existence?
Yeah.
Um, and I thank you, the audience, for your time. Berserkle, thank you for the questions and the interesting, very interesting statements. I love that. I love the idea of an AI god. I never put those two things together. Funny enough,
Mm.
but yes. Yeah. Any parting words there, Entropy?
This has been excellent, and we'll be back next Sunday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please join us. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out live on Twitch. Join the conversation, and
Yeah.
question your reality. Do the hygiene for your mind. Do the
I
hygiene
was
for your
gonna say
mind.
that. Hygiene for your mind. Question your reality. Just question your reality. It's not even something to be scared of. Question your reality with fun, childlike curiosity.